Welcome to Yarnchix Podcast Episode 55. My name is Mimi and I podcast from Berlin, and I am a shop assistant in a wool shop, and I have children, so I also craft for children. I like toy making, I like mending. I publish my own zine because knitting is political, and I choose to self-publish so that I have kind of direct impact and complete creative freedom with what I write, and what I cut and paste is like cut out and stuck together, and I like the analog art of my zine making. Today I have decided to make a podcast. It's episode 55 and I'm gonna try and do it in one roll. What? Like, I'm usually like a chatterbox, so I have to interrupt myself and then restart, and so my podcast usually involves a lot of editing. I will include some close-ups of the things that I'm crafting on and to kind of mix things up, but the recording of the podcast will be half an hour. I've set myself a timer. I'm gonna just go for it, and I'm gonna talk a lot about what I've finished. I'm already wearing something that I've recently finished, and all the craft alongs in my podcast, because the community around the podcast has now got 2 and a third craft along, actually, that's kind of sleepily running along the side. We have the linomukakal knit along, and we have the magic 3-mile, and this episode is focused very much on magic 3-mile because we've got 2 more months of crafting, so all of August, all of September, because early October we finish, and it's crafting for children. Sets of 3 with tops, bottoms and toys. I am so excited to toy make a little bit more, and I hope so are you. That would have been a little bit of a visual overview of all the items I will chat about. I try and include that early on because it helps framework my editing, and I like chopping things up. So, however, I really enjoy when podcasters do these like one frame, one energy podcasts. So I thought, to make it a little bit easier for myself this time, and as I have like limited amount of time for editing, that I will try out if I can do like a one shot, talk about it and then edit it up kind of podcast. Okay, first things first. What am I wearing? I'm wearing the Sun Gazer sweater, a design by James N. Watts that I recently finished. I first illustrated it with these watercolors, and if you watch episode 53 and 54, you will definitely see this project. I used linomukakal, which is our linen yarn from the yarn shop where I work at, in Berlin. It's our in-house brand, and even when I wasn't a shop assistant in this shop, I already started a knit along using this yarn entirely. It's very thin. Let me grab my current project to show you. It's like a fingering weight or less. It's almost like a lace weight because it's 245 meters for 50 grams. So it's very thin. But in this, I used, I held 3 strands at a time, and I just see there's something on the lens. I'm going to clean the lens. Look at this detail. And yeah, I marled several colors in some places, or here I used 3 of the same. And I love it! This is the sun side. I'm wearing it this way around today, but the back side is like this. Let me show you the back. So it has much more colder energy, and I call it the moon side. And I absolutely adore wearing it. I wear it the other way around most of the time, also because I made this split hem situation and ran out of yarn on the second split hem, and this is actually longer, but today I felt like wearing the bright side, so I've got this kind of longer hem at the front today. It kind of drapes and flows, and it's very loose, which is great in summer. Goes with everything, goes with jeans. I wear it with shorts, I wear it with my dress, I wear it with the skirt. So I have all these outfits now that I can wear this with. I absolutely adore that it's this kind of patchwork energy. It's almost like bits of fabric were stitched together in these areas, but it's all knitted. It's an ingenious design. I really love James' work. They are just very out there, clever, and a bit more creative than your ordinary knitwear designers. So I kind of, I really admire James. So I'm happy I finished this. I finished the test knit for them in the last episode, so you can also go back to episode 54 to see another linomukakal knit along project. So finished object number 1, Sun Gazer sweater in linomukakal held thrice, triple thread, and the other finished object is also 3 strands linomukakal, are these shorts. I knitted myself some leg wear and I can't believe it. These are the flutter butt shorts by Jessie May or Jessie Martinson, and I absolutely adore them. I knitted them in the XL, so very oversized, and they have this kind of frilled, ruffled bottom. Wearing these shorts makes me feel very in me and self-caring and self-loving. I feel thrilled to have these shorts, and for the first time I'm wearing shorts where I'm like, I made these and I like my legs, which is a bit of a thing for me. I'm happy I've overcome, and it's kind of like a healing process. When I knitted them, I cast on for the in-between leg area, and look now, you can kind of see I've got a bit too much fabric here, because you kind of cast on in between your legs to close for the round, to knit your leg wear sleeves. I don't really know, to knit the legs in the round. And you bridge over the gap in between your legs, and I just have a little bit too much fabric. So I reckon what I'll do is I'll take these on holidays and I'll fix that, because it's like, you know, 2 or 3 days working on them. I can still wear them as they are now, and I'm enjoying wearing them so much. I won't like do that right away, but I will mend it. So holding 3 strands, linomukakal in the beetroot colorway, and finished, to be mended. But finished, I call them finished because I feel they're finished. I'm wearing them, so I went on to cast on a new thing, which is matching floaty, because I really want this set. Look at the colors together. The floaty set. I think this will be really cool. This is the Dusty Rose colorway, and I inherited it from a friend who didn't really get on with the linen. 100% linen is quite demanding on your hands, and also already when you wind it you have a lot of fabric, and it's a bit, it can be frustrating for knitters to knit it, but I really love wearing my linen garments, so I have grown a bit more accustomed or resilient maybe to the challenges. With the shorts I had quite a tight gauge, so I had to watch out a little bit because my wrists were starting to hurt. So I just mixed it up with another project. So I'm being really careful and slow with this t-shirt. It's a project I cast on especially already because I want to knit it during my holiday. We're leaving in 2 days time and going back to England for the first time in ages, and I want a really simple summer knitting project to take along, because I plan to also cast on other things and have like a travel project, but this is definitely what I will have on my needles and on the go. The third project I finished, and this is crazy because we're talking Magic 3, this is like a Magic 3 adult size, is this amazing lace shawl. And I thought I'll take this chance to podcast and show it because it's a gift. Let's put the bag aside and just try and... it's so hard to capture, but can you see this floaty, dreamy cloud? Oh, yeah. It's the Ishbel Shawl by Isolde, a Scottish design, a Scottish designer, not a Scottish design. And it's a present for someone's wedding. We're traveling to England because there's a family wedding, and I'm very excited that I finished this on time and I managed to block it, so it's not one of those stressful last minute knits. It's actually finished. I can wrap it up and then I can present it to the bride-to-be. Proud bride-to-be. Yeah, I'm very proud actually. I finished this lace shawl. Lace knitting is not really it's not my type of thing. It's not really what I'm accustomed to. So it was a learning curve, and I thought I could help myself with stitch markers. I couldn't. However, I did learn the pattern and the coding that it presents to your brain, so it became less difficult. I'm very, very excited that I finished on time. So that's actually like a Magic 3 mile set because it's a top that I'm wearing. It's bottoms, the shorts, and it's a toy or an accessory like the shawl. And yeah, chuffed. There's actually so much finished knitting in my current world, knitting world, so now it's time to cast on actually. So I cast on the flutter shirt for myself already, and I'm gonna cast on one other thing before we travel. So tonight or tomorrow morning I'm gonna cast on a third item for the set of presents I'm making for a toddler, or actually relatively big grown child that I haven't seen in a while, for Magic 3 Mile. So this is Magic 3 Mile 2022 planning by Mimi, and I will actually mark off what we've completed later on. I haven't done any markings on here, which is the big plan, where I've completely added all the projects I'm planning to make this year, and there's like 2 or 3 months, so we can craft all of August still and all of September, and then I don't know if I will manage to do all of this year. I thought I'll do it set by set. So I have made the parachute and I have made the Otso bear, but I need to cast on this pair of shorts, colorwork shorts, to have this kind of gingham style look. And I already spoke about them in the last episode, which was a month ago, and I still haven't cast them on. So I don't know, there's some kind of hold up there. I'm gonna cast them on for travels because I want to gift them when I'm in the UK. However, this is the finished parachute. So the top of that set, and this is the finished toy in that set, the Otso. And yeah, only lacking the shorts, so I will have to get going with that for set number 1. However, set number 2, let me show you a drawing, is slowly creeping up, so I'm not finishing it set by set, but never mind, this was urgent. So I've got a dress that needs mending. I've had a request for a derpy crochet frog, and I want to make this blue pocket pouch, a design by Imogen Denton, or Imi, that I really, really adore, and I need to find some Aran weight yarns to make this bag. The dress has been mended. I finished this last night, so I should actually get it to show you. Oh, that was one thing I wasn't prepared enough for. I'm gonna get that. So this dress needed new buttons along the side, and it had a really wide opening here at the front that we wanted to close up. It's my youngest child's outfit for the family occasion, so it was urgent that I fixed it, and I'm glad I finally finished. It has this really cute little belt, and we bought it secondhand from a shop in Neukölln, near Schönlandstraße, that we found by chance, and they had all these rails outside, so all my kids were looking through for shirts and dresses, and this was picked out and just immediately loved. It's this kind of silky, chiffony fabric, and it has a floral pattern. It's very light and summery, so I replaced the buttons with these really lovely olivey green ones. And yeah, I stitched up this opening at the front, and now it fits perfectly. And it's ready. And it's finished. So it's a mend that was quick actually, but took me some time to sit down to do. It's like that always. And the toy to go with that set, I've found the yarn. This is a request, a very clear request. So we found a pattern, I found the yarn, I just need to find the time to do it. I guess it's gonna travel with me and be a little like crochet treat along the side. And then the bag, either I find an iron weight in my stash. I've got a deep dive. Maybe I find an iron weight yarn for the pocket pouch in my stash, or else I will double check. Yeah, I'll just have to see if it's something that I buy as a souvenir yarn, and that's just the plan for set number 2. So I need to make the shorts for set number 1, and set number 2. The dress is mended, the pocket pouch is in the air, and the frog is almost here. I've got some white cotton like in my stash, so I can definitely make the white belly, and the green I bought at work because it had to be the perfect green. It was a request, like I said, and so the second set, well on its way. Gotta make those shorts. And I've already started dreaming up a third set for a baby, but I don't really know any babies at the moment, but I guess you never know. And it's great for presents. I often make things as presents for the prizes in the Magic 3 mall, because there is an overall price and then all the categories. So there's a vote for a best or a favorite top, a favorite toy, a favorite bottoms, and yeah, there will be prizes for those categories as well. So I've got to work that out. I've had a little delivery, which is a little bit of unboxing I get to do now. So this is the parcel from dear Marisa, who is our Naya Yarn. She sent a prize already. So every year different crafters and makers contribute little gifts to the overall winning prize. And this has been waiting for me to film the podcast, so I'm so glad I get to unbox now live for the podcast, in my trying to film in one go and keep having to get up and get more stuff. But still, I'm in a flow. I hope it's not too crinkly. Little... Ooh, our Naya yarn. Oh god, I wish this was smell-o-vision. It's so sheepy and beautiful. Oh god, it's so gorgeous. One of these skeins will go in a parcel to one of to the overall winner, and at Magic 3 Mile we draw it with random numbers from all the finished sets. So I'm super glad that Marisa is supporting this. She's also knitting and crafting along, so it's like a community thing. If you're one of the people who are taking part, or if you're considering taking part, or if you want to just sponsor our make along, feel free to get in touch in the comments below, or via my Instagram, Leadbed, or Yarnchix Podcast. You can choose either. Just get in touch to let me know if you want to contribute something. I always craft something. I craft prizes for all the different categories, and I would be so delighted to have your contribution if you want to contribute. I really love Naya yarn. I already knitted some into my big Shawlography mystery knit along with Stephen West that I took part in, and loved knitting it. I have another skein that's a treat. So let's see. Oh look, there's also some tea and the card from Marisa. And she always is so generous. I get to pick one skein for me and one is for the price. So happy. I will also be making a brand new, every year I make these Yarnchix calendars, so it's like a monthly calendar. The light has disappeared. Hang on, let me do something about the light. And the one I made for 2023 will be sent as a prize for the big winner as well. Look, I can turn the page because today's the 1st of August. As part of the podcast, I always include a little knit reportage at the end, and I have a tarot knit oracle. I haven't really thought of a question, so today I went on Instagram and said, like, if you have any questions, let me know. So I'm gonna double check if anybody has asked something whilst we're here, and Otzo's gonna help. So there is a question from my friend Hannah, and she's asking about the favourite crafting music, a music that goes on in the background. So I'm gonna answer that using, well, I'm gonna pull a tarot card about it, because that's kind of like a fun, quirky comment kind of question. I'm going to include a list of items that I listen to so that you can read it up, and maybe I'll talk about that as part of the Tarot Knit Oracle. Yes, let's do that. And the knit reportage this time is from an event where Otzi and me went. It was the Wedding Wool Weekend, a little tiny little festival with a small marketplace that I was a part of because it was hosted by our shop. So Boy in Berlin hosted this, and it was in our courtyard. We rented this loft upstairs for a small market setup with these different yarn dyers and other sellers, lots of friends. Oh, I don't know where I was, but anyway, the light is a little bit better, so I can tell you that the knit reportage is about the Wedding Wool Weekend, the festival that we hosted at One Berlin in the courtyard and upstairs and in the shop. And there were some workshops, and I had the great opportunity to see some samples by Midori, who brought her trunk show. Chris Berlin had brought her trunk show to show off some kind of Ito yarn projects that she's designed. And she took a really cool picture of me, which I posted, so I will kind of show some of the images that I've collected. I hope it will be enough for a kind of shortish knit reportage, because obviously I was working, I wasn't walking around filming. Next time we host this, and I'm sure we will repeat the Wedding Wool Weekend, I'll make sure to get a little bit more time for some camera recording stuff and get a break in where I maybe film like this. So Magic 3 Mile, please consider joining. Like, I'm gonna still carry on crafting, and the small stuff you could, work up something in the next 2 months. It's a really cool community event, and we craft alongside each other. There is no pressure. It's fun and chatty, and we have so many cool inspirational posts already for flatlays. You can interpret the different categories as you please. Like, a top could also be a hat, or a bottom could be socks, or little kind of baby shoes, or you're free to be creative, as we've always been quite open in the past, and it's there for us to take part in. There's also the Stash Went knit along. Stash Went is a swap that we host in this community, so I guess you can already get ready. In September we're gonna start organizing that. But yeah, the Stash Went Stash Craft Along, that's always running, so it's all about using up leftovers from Stash or using the Stash advent calendars. Next time I will definitely show you the progress on my big blanket project that I've been knitting on. I'm like That's gonna be a huge one. I need to show that. And yeah, today I wanted to also show something that I've produced that I'm very proud of, which is my latest zine. So if this is nothing for you, if you don't want to hear about the Tarot Knit Oracle or watch the knit reportage, that's completely fine. The podcasty bit is over now. There's just going to be like some show and tell of my products and a tarot card being drawn and the knit reportage. So we'll see you again later. But if you're interested in my zine, I wanted to give you a little glimpse, because today you can still order it. And then I will have to go on holiday with my Etsy shop again as I'm traveling. If you're in the UK, you can always DM me, because I'm taking some along to send locally. I won't have my whole product range with me in my suitcase. That will be a bit like a traveling saleswoman. But I will bring some zines along, because I know it's so much easier to send locally. So this is Yarnchix zine issue number 12, called Mending Mountain. And I'm so in love with the cover. I got the Riso print at Colorama Workshop, where I'm now a member, and I designed this cover, and has a little manifesto on the back. And it's all about mending. I've got the content page here for you. I had a contribution by Holly. Holly is a great crafter and mender from the UK. She lives in Cornwall and hosts these crafting workshops, like mending workshops, called Gentlemen's Club. And yeah, I got to print one of their posters as the centerfold, and we had a chat. I included like some handwritten art. There's a recipe for these biscuits. Look, they're even stuck together. I always try and include like a little vegan knitter snack, and these are biscuits, our new invention. They're called bonbon biscuits, because some of them have bits of bonbon melted in them, and the whole biscuit tastes of like fruit. Hard-boiled sweets, which I really love. It's very sugary and sweet, but it's a perfect treat alongside knitting, a cup of tea, and maybe some audiobooks or a soundtrack. Let's ask the Tarot Knit Oracle. There is much more I wanted to show to you, but because I've decided this is like a one-roll podcast, I'm gonna have to leave it there, because I didn't bring my tote bag, did I? I had to show it. Look, so this is the tote bag. I designed this for the wedding wool weekend as well, and it's now available in the shop because it arrived 3 days late for the festival. Phew! But yeah, I carry it around all the time. It has just one strap, so I wear it like this, and it reads Summer Knitting Club. I'm so pleased I've designed a tote bag, and I really like the kind of one strap cross bag thing. I'm gonna film the close-ups that I can edit them in, and my Tarot Knit Oracle, and I thank you so much for visiting me today. It's always fun to talk about Magic 3 Mile and all the toy making. Like the Otso. I'm gonna carry on making Otso. I'm making one at work, and I will make a little frog and different things that I hope to show and share here after the holidays. You will have me back for podcast episode 56, end of August. I try and do it at the end of the month, every month, but yeah. This time it kind of slid over into August. I hope you don't mind. And yeah, I wish you a good day and happy summer knitting. Lots of love. Bye! in connection with soundscapes whilst knitting is very interesting because it means the end of something, and I guess maybe it could mean the question already points for it to be more creative in my life, because actually the only time I listen to soundtrack and knit is on Sundays when I listen to Six Music on the radio. I really love Caris Matthews shows on Radio 6 Music, and kind of knit and listen, but I often knit commuting or watching TV, and maybe it's time to start knitting and audiobook listening, because I've been thinking about this a lot. I want to read more and I don't progress with my reading because I knit so much. So in a way, maybe this card is more pointing towards an inspiration of ending one way of knitting, maybe soundtrack less or soundless, apart from Sundays with the radio, to like dedicated knitting time, maybe an audiobook in my headphones whilst I commute, or like sitting and knitting and listening to music. Like I have so many CDs and records, and I'm actually in Spotify, so I'm thinking to use that a bit more, like for soundtracks and like dedicated hearing lists. I will add some of my favorites down here so you can read up and maybe find their playlists that I enjoy, especially at work. But I thought I'd come on here because obviously it's a very drastic card, death, but I think it's also about chapters, you know, like maybe finishing my, because it's a really good question. Most people, I guess, listen to stuff whilst they craft, and apart from Sundays or radio, not very dedicated soundtracks, so an idea of sorts. Okay, thank you for coming around and visiting me today, and thank you for joining me for the Tarot Knit Oracle.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. A step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be.